What's going on, everybody? It's Warren, and welcome back to Superhero Central, where we talk about our favorite superheroes. And today we'll be talking about many people's favorite superhero, if not one of their favorite superheroes, Iron Man, and specifically, what is his strongest armor? Now, there have been many awesome and extremely powerful Iron Man suits made, like the Godkiller armor or the Godbuster armor, but in this video, we're going to go over the Iron Destroyer armor. And there's some very specific things about this armor that make it the strongest Iron Man suit that Tony Stark has ever worn. So we'll go into why it's so strong and of course the story behind how Tony Stark actually gets the armor. So the Iron Destroyer armor actually comes in the Fear Itself story. Odin gave everyone access to Uru metal in order to defeat the Serpent, and the Serpent is actually Odin's brother, Cole Borson. Now Cole feeds off of fear, so not only is he an older Asgardian, and older Asgardians are believed to be stronger than younger ones, even the really old ones, but he also gets stronger as he feeds off of fear. So he is insanely strong, one of the strongest beings there is, almost on par with Odin, and Thor in his prime was nothing compared to Odin, an older Odin, and he wiped the floor with him, and by law, Odin actually couldn't kill his brother because they were bound by blood. So Odin couldn't take care of the threat of his brother, it was up to Thor and the rest of the Avengers. There was also a prophecy that said Odin would lose his son, Thor, in the battle against the Serpent, so Odin was deeply concerned for Thor. So Cole puts together a team of essentially 8 Thors, and he gives them all hammers like Thor's, and they almost take out Thor. It takes everything out of Thor to stay alive. So what does Odin do? He gives Thor's team access to Uru metal and the dwarves of Nidavellir, the same one that we saw in Infinity War, only they're not all dead. And he gives them access to his enchantments too. So instead of just giving them hammers, they got weapons specifically tailored to them, whereas Cole's team simply just got hammers. So the team gets specific armor. For example, Wolverine gets armor that is dipped in Uru metal and enchanted. The same goes with Spider-Man. Captain Marvel gets her weapon dipped into the Uru metal, as well as Doctor Strange, and Hawkeye even gets his arrows and his bow dipped in the Uru metal as well. So basically everybody just takes their armor and their weapons and chucks it into the vat of Uru. However, it's not that simple for Tony Stark. There's a catch to his armor. Odin tells him that he has to wear the armor and jump into the vat of Uru metal, and he tells him that he may die doing it. In fact, right before Tony decides to jump in, he even expresses his concerns to Thor that he won't make it out alive. But of course, Tony being Tony, he jumps right in wearing his suit. Now, the suit that he is wearing when he jumps in is his bleeding edge armor, which is already considered one of the strongest Iron Man armors of itself. And this armor is nanotech, like we saw in Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, so he can shape it into anything he wants, basically anything that he can come up with inside of his mind. So now we have an Iron Man suit that is made out of indestructible metal, Uru metal, and is also nanotechnology that can form into any weapon that Tony Stark's brain can even think of. Now, the importance of Tony Stark's suit being made out of Uru metal is more than just being indestructible. Odin also enchanted everybody's weapons, including Tony Stark's suit. The reason that Uru is so important is that Asgardian magic can only be contained and enchanted in Uru metal. This is the only way that Odin's magic can be limitless. Other objects and other metals can't hold the magic and contain it. It will bleed out and eventually won't be enchanted at all. However, that is not true for Uru. Uru can hold it and can contain it, and the power is limitless unless Odin himself takes away the enchantment. But since Tony Stark's suit is now made of Uru metal, it can hold and contain Odin's enchantment, which gives it limitless power. So now you have an indestructible suit that can never run out of power, that can turn into any weapon that Tony thinks of. This is by far one of the greatest weapons ever created in Marvel history due to these facts. And this is why it's the strongest Iron Man armor, even armor like his Godkiller armor and the Godbuster armor. They're not as powerful as the Iron Destroyer armor. And not to mention, this armor doesn't hurt or affect Tony when he uses the armor, whereas the Godkiller armor almost killed Tony when he used it. Another pretty big benefit to Tony Stark himself. This is what makes the Iron Destroyer the strongest armor that Tony Stark has ever worn. Now, in the Fear Itself story, the team goes on to defeat Cole, and unfortunately, Tony Stark has to give his armor back to Odin, as it was part of the deal that he made with Odin. But it's easy to see how powerful it was, but let me know your thoughts on this down below in the comment section. What do you think about the Iron Destroyer armor, and which is your favorite Iron Man armor? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest superhero videos, and give the video a like if you enjoyed it. As always, this is Warren, and thanks so much for joining us here at Superhero Central.